Bernatics.
Talk to him now.
AT, Andre.
Come on, Dre.
Yep. Trippin with Let's Go. Woo! Trippin with Theobold.
What's your name?
Theo so bold.
Yeah.
Driggity. Let's go. Trippin with Theobold. Trippin.
What are we doing?
Trippin with Theobold.
Come on, Dre.
See, mic check, 1 2 1 2. Holla if you hear me. Hey, what's going on, y'all? And welcome to another episode of Trippin with Theobold. I'm your host, Andre Theobold. Welcome to the show. Welcome to Theobold Studios, where we do it ourselves, aka do-it-yourself productions. Before we go any further, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, tell a friend to tell a friend, and do all that fun internet stuff, like the old people say, you know. And see, I kind of move things around a little bit. So yeah, AT is where it's at on most forms of social media. So follow me. As Gino says, follow me. It's like, let me stop, man. I ain't trying to cause no trouble. Okay, here we go, man. So as you guys know how we do over here in Trippin with Theobold land, we got to get started with the tongue twisties. We got to get the brain and the tongue coordinated so there'll be less trippage on the show, okay? So here we go. Let's get into it. Boom. So today's tongue twisties are brought to you by the letter E. E. All right. As in easy. Okay, cool. Let me stop messing around. Tongue twist number 1. Here we go. So as you guys know, you guys can either read along with me or you can watch me struggle. Choice is yours. You always have a choice over here in Trippin with Theobold land. So here we go. Let's get to it. First one. Eddie the elephant eats every egg. Eddie the elephant eats every egg. Eddie gonna be gassy. Eddie the elephant eats every egg. Tongue twisting number 2. Here we go. Elmer Elwood eluded 11 elderly elephants. Elmer Elwood eluded 11 elderly elephants. All these elephants with the E's, but I guess that's what we got to do. Elmer Elwood eluded 11 elderly elephants. And last tongue twisty. Evelyn Egbert efficiently eluded 11 elevated eggs. Evelyn Egbert efficiently eluded 11 elevated eggs. Last time, here we go. Evelyn Egbert efficiently eluded 11 elevated eggs. And yay, tongue twisters are done. Got those knocked out the way. Brain and tongue is all coordinated, warmed up. Nose hair is messing with me as usual. No booger sugar. I don't do that booger sugar stuff. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into the topic of today's show. So today's topic is brought to you by, or not brought to you by, today's topic is about, it's another engineering tale, all right? I'm full of engineering war stories, man. I got lots of, I should probably write a book on my experiences, man, and like how to deal with them, you know, but another engineering tale, you know, today's engineering tale is about performance evaluations, what they are, why they exist, why they suck, and how we can make them better. All right. So let me first start off by telling you what a performance evaluation is. Okay. So a performance evaluation is basically a company's justification for giving you a raise or to fire you or to keep you. That's all it is, right? It's them crossing their I's and dotting their T's. I said crossing their I's. It's them dotting their I's and crossing their T's with, are they going to keep you, elevate you, or dispose of you, right? That's all a performance evaluation is, right? One company I work for, they call them PRDPs, which stands for Performance Review and development process, or something like that. PRDP. So when I first started working, my very first job I had, it wasn't the best experience because I had an inexperienced lead that was underneath me, or that I worked under. I don't know why I said underneath, but I had a very inexperienced lead that shouldn't have been my lead. And what happened was, you see, what had happened was, let me go cut that shit out. Now what happened was, I was supposed to work under a different lead. My lead that I was supposed to work under got promoted to be a manager. And then my manager had to go scramble and put together a whole new team to work on this project and get this project done. And the new team that he assembled was a younger team that was like, they were sharp, but they were just aggressive and they weren't like the best team wise, right? It was very cliquish. Like they basically had a clique, and I was the odd man out. So when I was the odd man out, my boss kind of got wind of it, and he protected me. You know, he had another project he put me on, that I could be more successful on, but the team he had to have that team to get the actual work done. But he knew that, you know, the way they were operating, it could have got him in trouble or got a lot of them in trouble. So anyways, what happened was, like I said, I was getting, well, in the previous episode, I was talking about, I think I talked about this a little bit, but basically, I was getting like mundane stuff to do. They weren't really challenging me. They were giving me dumb remedial shit to do. You know, they were giving me things that didn't have a clear finish line. And if I tried to define the finish line, they would just keep moving it. And then they would tell me I'm doing a bad job, you know? Like, they'd be like, here's the finish line. Okay. And I would get closer to the finish line. They would move it here, and they keep moving it here. Now it's here. Now it's here. Now it's there. Now it's here. And when I'm not getting across the finish line, it's, oh, well, he's not getting his job done, but whatever. So, anyways, what happened was, things came to a head when I got my first PRDP back. My boss called me in his office, and he just gave me, it was funny because he basically gave me my performance evaluation. No, it was actually my mid-year. It was my PRDP mid-year. It wasn't even an end-year review because I didn't even make it past 1 year on that team, I don't think. But he slid me my evaluation, and he didn't say anything. He just looked at me while I read it. And the first thing I saw on there was, you know, it says that Andre lacks the ability to surmise the intent of unclear requirements. Think about what I just said. I lack the ability to surmise the intent of unclear requirements. So I lack the ability to make shit clear that wasn't clear to begin with. Right? So, anyways, long story short, it was a bullshit comment. It was a bullshit, it was a bullshit review, or comment. You know, there was no training or anything that you could have pointed to help me overcome this. It's one of those like fuzzy things, right? It was, I say it's this, so it's that. So anyways, my boss saw that and was like, I'm going to get you onto a whole other project. You know, I have somewhere else where you can be really successful. And I spent like the rest of my time at this company, was it 5.5 years, 6 years working tall. So that was dope. Anyways, yeah, performance evaluations, man, are, in theory, they're nice, but companies be abusing them, yo. Like, they're just a pain in people's ass. Like, nobody wants to do them. And then when the workers do take advantage of using them, it ends up backfiring. So, for example, when I was still at this other company, when I was working on TAWS, there was what happened, man? So I was in a situation where when I first started working there, I wanted to basically, my goal was to have 2 years of systems engineering experience. And then I wanted to get 2 years of hardware / electrical engineering experience, and then 2 years of software experience. And then I would have came back to systems, and I would have been a more well-rounded systems engineer, because I would have been exposed to different like protocols, and I would have just known different things. And I would have been able to work the politics out a lot better. Because I was like, when I left my company, I wasn't really like I wasn't really hip to corporate politics, you know. Like, to be a good engineer in a company, or to be a great engineer, you have to not only be technically sound, but you have to like know the politics within the company to even know how to make all that shit come together, you know. Like, you got some people that are brilliant, but they don't know politics and they can't get shit done. And you got some people that are political, that know the company inside and out and know how to navigate within the company, but they don't know shit technically, you know? So that was my goal, at least. And my role that I was in, because actually my management changed while I was on that team. And the new management came, and then they basically pigeonholed me into a role. It was great experience, man. I did a lot of stuff. Like, it would take me probably, it would probably take me like a year, like half FTE, you know, full-time employee, to train someone to do my job like in a year. And then my role kept changing too, right? So it was one of those things where it would take me a year to train somebody else up on what I did or what I was doing. And while I was doing that, I was learning new things or doing new things. My role was growing, right? So basically I was kind of stuck in this role. And the role I had on this team was basically, I was, whenever we needed new functionality designed, I would do the high level design, you know, beat it up, you know, make sure it was a robust design. And then I would take that design and then derive the system level requirements from that design, and then push those through peer review, and then make sure that I coordinate with software and hardware on getting, you know, what I had implemented. So that was pretty much like, that was like one aspect of my job. And then I was also more into like a troubleshooting role, right? Where basically I was, if a customer or if a program was having issues with our product, I had to go down to the rig, and the rig is basically a mock-up of an aircraft with all the computer stuff hooked up or whatever. And I would go down there, and I would basically have to like troubleshoot their system, you know, because I knew how the system worked per requirements. And then if I found a bug, I had to know, like, you learn different things, right? Like, you learn how to test things, you know. You have to, like, rule number one is you have to know what you're testing, you know. And then number two, I had to be able to determine if something was a bug or if it was a system level defect, you know. Those are two different things. So anyways, like, I did all, like, I was like, if something broke, I was the one that had to go fix it and go figure it out. And then on top of that, I was also, I don't know why I'm telling you I'm just going to tell you. So I did a lot of shit. Another thing I did was, I had to, I'm trying to remember everything I did. Damn. Then I did these things called snags, where basically, a pilot would have our product on an aircraft, and then they would have a video recording of it, but no data. And they just sent me the video. And then I had to look at the video of what defect happened with our product. And then I had to kind of come up with conclusions as to what happened. And then I had to go back and prove it. And then make sure I look at software builds to try to recreate what it is that they saw, you know? So I did that. I helped put out software builds, you know, so I had to basically write version description documents that said what changed between what versions of software, what CRs got addressed. I'm not trying to bore. Long story short, I did a lot of shit, but I did a lot of shit that they wanted me to do, right? That was, so in the day, I was a valuable asset to my team, but I was growing this way. I was growing in one dimension. I wasn't going up. I wasn't really going lateral. I was just getting more deep with what I was currently working on. So what I tried to do was I tried to I was like, yo, I want to get some hardware engineering experience. You know, I want to get some software engineering experience. So I actually befriended, because our organization was a matrix organization, and I befriended our hardware engineer manager, and he knew I knew the system inside and out, or I knew it well enough to where I could be an asset to him, you know, and he was excited to bring me on as a hardware engineer. I was even willing to get demoted because I just wanted the experience. So when I tried to apply for the role, I think and long story short, HR blocked it. And I think my management went around and found out I was trying to get on, like, be more of a hardware engineer, but they needed me for systems. And then, you know, they blocked it. Right. So I was stuck. So what I tried to do was I basically tried to use the PRDP process to, I tried to use it to navigate where I wanted to go. So basically I say, hey, look, my goal. So in the goal section, I wrote down, hey, you know, I want to train up someone else to do my job. And then I didn't say it in these terms, but basically everything was spelled out to where I was going to train someone up to do my job. And then I was going to transition into a software role or a hardware role doing something that currently helps my team. And the key thing was they wanted me to say, hey, how is this going to help my team? Or my manager was like, how is this going to help my team? And I told him how, but he wasn't buying it. So long story short, I got stuck. So when you do a PRDP or a peer evaluation, or your what do you call it? A performance evaluation. Basically what happens is how I was trained was you're supposed to write your goals to the level or to the position above your current position, right? So if you're a system engineer 2, you need to like look at the roles and responsibilities of a system engineer 3 and then write those goals. And then when you write those goals and you're achieving those goals, you can make the argument that you are exceeding expectation. And if they don't give you a promotion in 2 years, you can be like, man, let me get the fuck out of here because they ain't trying to do nothing with me. Right? That's a clear indicator that they're just going to sit on you. Anyways, I feel like I'm kind of going all over the place. But here's what happened, man. So I was working for another company, and when I first started, I tried to write my goals for systems engineer 3, which was the one above my role. No, actually, I got hired as a 3, and I was trying to be a 4. And my boss at the time laughed in my face. She was like, you're nowhere ready for that. I'm like, yeah, I know I'm nowhere near ready, but where are the roles and responsibilities for a 4 so I can write those down and I can work towards them. Long story short, she didn't have them, you know? And then I kept trying to basically corner her to get me a role description of what a 4 does so I can work towards that. And she said the coldest shit, but she was honest, and I appreciate her honesty. But she said, look, at the end of the day, she said, look, Andre, look, at the end of the day, if I like you and you're not making my job hard, you have nothing to worry about. Oh, okay. Okay. Shit. And the way she ran our performance evaluations on our team, it was a waste of time. It was a jump through the hoop thing, right? So basically what would happen is when performance evaluations were due, we would get our goals from her the week that the shit was due from a corporate wide standpoint, and say, okay, here are your goals. Show how you work towards meeting these goals. And I used to hate doing performance evaluations at this company, man, because you basically had to take a whole damn day off to like write all this shit in, you know, because basically you're justifying why you should keep your job. Because if they're not giving you the roles and responsibilities of the role above your current one, they're not trying to promote you, you know? So I was like, man, I'm trying to just hold on to this job. So I remember, man, I used to write like 10 pages for my performance evaluations on everything that I did. I would have like all these files that I would just pull up, and I would just document everything in there, you know? And it's like, it's like I'm working, but it's like typically what's supposed to happen is you get your goals and then you have a calendar year to write your own goals on how you're going to meet those goals. So anyways, that shit was a waste of time. So in actuality, performance evaluations are a tool that companies use to justify firing people or promoting people, which they rarely do, or to justify you staying. So a way to make performance evaluations at work better would be to have a third party organization come in and just run the shit. Like there's no, your manager your manager should not be the driving force of a performance evaluation. It should be third party, so the third party knows what it is you want and what it is they need from the manager, you know? And I'm not saying that the employee should have more power than the manager, but they gotta have some power, man, because if you got someone that's trying to navigate their career, you know, maybe they can't get to be a software engineer next year or in 2 years, but in year 3, there should be a path for that, you know? So anyways, man, yeah, performance evaluations suck. Like I just hate them. And I'm glad I'm at a company now. Well, I'm not supposed to tell you what I'm working. Okay. I'm working, but, I haven't done a performance evaluation in like 2-3 years. And I'm glad, man. That shit is a waste of time. It's like, it's just justify why you should still be here is what it all basically boils down to. I had a lead when I worked on SVS, good old Rodney, ripping Rodney. Rodney was quiet, but real slick. Like Rodney probably left more times than the number of years I was there, So Rodney would come in, and it was funny because we always kept crossing paths, but Rodney would leave. He knew that if he wanted a promotion, he had to leave because companies value people that come in. They don't value who's already working for them. So I remember, man, we had some brilliant software engineers that I worked with, man. Well, we had some brilliant software engineers in our company, and they would write their goals to like they were doing like 2 levels up work where they were working as a 4 and getting paid as a 2. And then every year, man, they would just be like crying the blues. Man, I'm still making the same amount of money. They're not promoting me. I don't know what to do. And then the funny thing happened, man. I remember Garmin came through and set up shop, and they had like a career fair, and we lost like a lot of people from our company, man. They were like, yo, fuck this place. And they just dipped out, So, anyways, performance evaluations, right? So how to make them better? Like I said, you got to have a third party company come in and manage that shit because managers have too much power when it comes to doing performance evaluations. Let me get a sip of this water right quick. Before we go any further, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, tell a friend to tell a friend, do all that fun internet stuff like the old people say. But excuse me. But I'm going to conclude with this, right? Companies hire you for one of two reasons. They hire you for 2 reasons. One of 2 reasons. Companies hire you to either be fat or to be protein. Either you're going to be dead weight or you're going to be pulling the weight. Either you're going to be drinking the Kool-Aid to go along to get along, or you're going to be the mule. Those are the only 2 reasons why companies hire you. All right. So I'm gonna help y'all navigate this shit. Cause like I said, I'm trying to get out this corporate life. And as I do, I'm trying to leave some knowledge for those of y'all in case you guys want to build you a golden parachute and get out. You can do the same. Or if you want to stay working. But I'm trying to tap the fuck out. Anyways, those are the 2 reasons why companies hire you, right? To either be dead weight or to pull weight. And I've come up with a slick way on determining up front in the interview process if a company is looking for me to be dead weight or to pull weight. And it's real simple, right? Here's what you got to do, right? during the interview, make sure, you know, you interview your potential manager. But when you're interviewing your potential manager, make sure you ask this question. You ask this question and you drop it, and then you sit back and just watch. Don't really listen to what they say. Just watch how they respond, and that'll tell you everything you need to know about why you're being hired. All right. So here's the magic question, right? The magic question is assuming, let me make sure I frame it up right. The magic question is, what would the successful candidate be doing if hired today, 1 week from now, 1 month from now, 3 months from now, 1 year from now, 5 years from now? Please walk me through the process of what the successful candidate will be doing at all those phases. And just watch. 9 times out of 10, they're going to be like, well, you know, you see, everyone's not the same, so we can't measure everyone the same. You know, it's neither here nor there. It's just, we'd have to evaluate you on a one-on-one basis. If you get that answer, you're being hired for dead weight. You're being hired to go along to get along, and you're being hired to be fat, and fat can be cut. Right. So just know that when you get hired and then they have layoffs or things come around, your ass is probably going to be on the chopping block. Now, if they have everything spelled out and they know exactly what they want at different phases of your career, that means you the mule, you pulling the weight. Right. So like I said, that's a clear indicator to know what it is. Why a company is like hiring you. Excuse me. So yeah, just keep that in mind, right? I'm very aware of that, because when I go to a company and I interview with them and I ask that question, I'm like, oh, okay. They want me to go, okay, cool. How do I get the bag? Like, hey, I'm keeping it a buck. I'm like, I'm about this money. I'm a mercenary right now, because I'm probably gonna do another episode on this, but a lot of companies hire a golden boy, right? When I say hire a golden boy, they don't hire them. They groom a golden boy, right? Like, they'll reach out and find someone that's a grad student or someone that is still in high school or college, and they'll be hanging around, being all nice and curious and shit. But that motherfucker they brought in is gonna be your boss, right? And they're grooming him, right? So he has the weight. So I might do an episode on that, because I've been able to spot all the golden boys as they come in, and I know how to navigate around them. Anywho, if you like what I had to talk about, make sure you guys like the video, comment in the comment section. Make sure you guys, if you got any questions, put them in the comment section. Maybe it might be another episode, or you might be your question might spawn a new topic for discussion for another episode. Make sure you do all that, and then make sure you guys AT is where it's at on most forms of social media, as you guys can see right here. Make sure you guys follow me, give me a follow. I said follow. Make sure you guys follow me. But yeah, thanks for tuning in to this edition of Trippin' with Theobold. And with all that being said, I'm out of here, folks. Peace. Yep. Trippin' with Theobold.
Let's go.
Caliente.
Trippin'. Yep. Trippin'. Trippin' with Theobold.
Trippin' with Theobold.
Yep. Trippin with Theobold.
Let's go.
Caliente.
Trippin. Yep. Trippin. Trippin. Trippin with Theobold.
Trippin with Theobold.